The next dynamic is the mega telephone. So, as we have incorporated new tools into our remote working practices, we haven't always been very intentional about what tools we use for what forms of communication. And one of the chief problems we see is that one-to-one tools are used to communicate a lot of information at once to a lot of people, and that creates all kinds of problems. Getting specific on what you will probably see if this is an issue for you is that your inbox, your email inbox, or your Slack or whatever chat app you use is a mess of direct messages. So you're regularly having to kind of stitch together a lot of one-to-one communication to understand what's going on. You're also having to dig for information and read between the lines of a conversation. So if you regularly receive emails where you spend some time trying to figure out what did that person actually mean? What are the actual implications of this email for my work specifically? Then you might be struggling with this mega telephone dynamic. And for your team, it might be hard for them to find the signal in the noise. So if you have a lot of people that complain about the number of emails they receive or how difficult it is to actually cut through the information that's sort of flooding at them each day to figure out what they actually need to know and process and act on, then this might be an issue. And it can be really hard if you have a mega telephone problem to get everyone on the same page and design efficient process for collaboration. So if you find yourself regularly getting frustrated by the volume of communication and how much of that doesn't lead to any meaningful action, then you might be struggling with this problem. And the first sort of key dynamic to fix here is that you have to have the right conversation on the right platform. And that requires some precision, but also some norm setting that can be difficult if you haven't had time or space to be intentional about how you roll out platforms, how you add new tech to your team, and generally how you discuss the ways that you want to work together. So as a thing to do, look at your inbox and find the last thread that had more than 5 people on it. So if you can't do that, because there never has been an email with more than 5 people copied, then you might be okay. You might not be struggling from this dynamic. But I want you to think theoretically, even if you can't find that email with 5 people copied on it, in a conversation like that, was there a better way to structure it using different platforms so that you could create more space for actual conversation, actual engagement, and better, more efficient decision making? So thinking a little bit outside of the email box and trying to get more intentional with the way that when we have a particular problem or a particular conversation we want to have, that we're using the right tool for the job.